Hi folks, welcome back to Three Burrow Farm. I've come out here, it's 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and I've come out and realised that this beautiful lavender is ready to harvest and to dry to use in my lavender sachets that I make. Wow, look at this one, nice and long, it's gorgeous. But what I really wanted to do out here is to show you what I'm doing at the moment to keep my seedlings from getting burnt over these really hot days that we're having. So here we are in one of my vegetable patches, and as you can see, I've used old sheets that were pretty much rotting. They had their time, and I'm draping them over where these seedlings that I've planted, pumpkins and cucumbers are. I just noticed that there was a tiny bit of browning off on the leaves, or like sun damage basically. They sort of go a lighter brown colour, and this is when you know it is sun damage. So I've popped these over because it's going to be 35 degrees again, and I will leave them on for the day, and then tomorrow I'll be able to take them off because we'll be back down to the early to mid 20s. But yeah, I just want to protect them from getting sunburnt even further. There's a few weeds down here, and I have the bees buzzing right next to me here on the poppies. But as you can see, these pumpkins here got quite a little hit, and I can see some earwigs munching on these plants a bit. There's quite a few earwigs. They're probably seeking refuge under the sheet as well. But these ones will bounce back. They'll be fine because their inner leaves are perfect. But as you can see here, it's gone like a lighter brown colour, and it's shriveled up around the outside. So this one here has just started to get a bit of sunburn, and this leaf here is pretty bad. So I'm going to take that one off. But as you can see, it's all shriveled up, and this is sunburn. So you just want to be careful with your new seedlings. This one's been munched on quite a bit. But there are new leaves here that are looking really happy and healthy. So these are just going to get protected from the sun for most of the day. Then it will get protected by these poppies here, and I've got some taller plants in front of the poppies, so the west sun will be sheltered by these plants. So here's one of the plants that got hit by the frost, and I'm actually finding that I have got quite a few plants that are making a comeback after that frost that killed off most of my tomatoes. There's one over here as well. But what I've done is I've planted some more seed into the ground just in case these ones don't thrive. So I've planted heaps of seed. And I've been going through my entire garden planting as much seed as possible. But I wanted to show you my cabbages. They're ready to pick, really, both of these ones. And they're looking so lovely and fresh. I'm ready to harvest one for dinner tonight. I think it's going to be this one here. So the flowers are still doing really nicely. These sweet peas are so gorgeous. They smell so good, and the cornflowers behind me are pretty much finished. I should have been picking the flowers off the deadheading it more often. But I've started to plant where these things are because eventually they're going to finish and I want other things to grow up. So beside this sweet pea, I have planted a big row of beans, and then in front of the beans I've planted a row of carrots, and I will show you in my tour But I just wanted to mention that the bean seeds are really old, so I've planted them quite thickly and we shall see what we get. But I'm confident that we will hopefully get some bean plants shooting up from these seeds. But I'm not being shy about planting this seed quite thickly because it's all old seed and I want to plant more in other parts of the garden and get the seed out here and out of my storage because it is getting old. Even though I do say that seed doesn't really have an expiry date, these ones are more than 10 years old, so they really need to be planted in the garden and see what happens. It's an experiment, but I'm hoping that we get some bean plants from them. All right, I'm about to run out of battery on my camera, so very quickly I just wanted to show you the beetroot. It is getting nice and big, and in fact there are some ready to harvest. So let's take one out quickly. Here we go. There's an earwig running over it. There's lots of earwigs in here. I've taken out the big one. I've got four more in that section that I planted. So I plant them in clumps and I take the bigger ones out. I just twisted it out, and all this can be eaten, the leaves and everything. So I'm going to use this in dinner tonight. Thank you for watching, friends, and I will see you tomorrow for a garden tour.